Hi, I'm Tomasz Czechowicz. I'm the founder and CEO of MCI. We are based in Warsaw.
Okay.
And we are investing in building the technology companies since 85. Yes, that's 85, 95, 2005. It's almost 30 years. This is pretty long experience. That I started more or less same time as Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and a couple of other guys. We are doing early stage investments. We are doing growth stage investments. We are doing expansion buyout investments. We started purely as a Polish fund. Then we expanded to Central Eastern Europe. Right now we are investing in so-called emerging Europe, which is for us German-speaking countries, Central Eastern Europe, Russia, and Turkey. Also, we are sometimes reviewing the opportunities in Western Europe where we can clearly add value as expansion with expansion opportunities for East European countries. That you see, right now we have 6 funds. We manage 6 funds with our portfolio. Euro Ventures is the expansion buyout funds where we are doing from 25 to 100 million euro investments. We have a growth stage fund which is doing 5 to 20 million euro checks, usually for more developed companies. And we are operating 3 early stage funds: Internet Ventures, Helix Ventures, and Bio Ventures. They are linked with the so-called Jeremy program of European Union, and they are doing up to 2.5 million euro investments in more early stage companies, which we have lots of them here. And we are also operating a venture debt fund, which is a pretty new product for this part of the world, which is providing type of debt financing for fast-growing companies which are not able to get a typical debt financing from the banks. Yes, we started, as MCI was started around 99. It was the first publicly listed technology investor on the Warsaw Stock Exchange. I created that group with original 100,000 euro investments. Right now we have close to 200 million euro of our own equity. We manage 300 million euro of assets across 6 funds which we have in our portfolio. Yeah, it's it's probably very small letters on the screen, but as we talk, we are operating in the whole region here. We are having 2 investments in Russia. We're having 1 investment, looking to make a second investment in Turkey right now. We've done about 50 investments in Central Eastern Europe, 2 investments in Germany. We have a team of 20 people which is actively flying across the region. This is probably the largest investment team dealing with the technology opportunities in Eastern Europe. And here you see exactly the description of our funds, which we manage. In terms of portfolio, we have about, if you look at the economic size of our portfolio, it's about 3 billion euro of revenue. That we've done about 20, 30 different business models in e-commerce space. We've done lots of digital media. We've done cloud, software as a service. We've done mobile internet, digital entertainment. That we have quite broad experience touching different segments of the digital space. And not only digital space, because we are also looking more and more into the traditional companies which we can help to manage the transition into the digital opportunities. There's probably 90% of the companies are the traditional companies, and they need something somehow to deal with expansion toward internet. That this is also significant source of our pipeline. Here you see the development of MCI, how we grew up in the last 14 years. That especially the last 5 years, 6 years was very good for us. That was the moment where really the digital economy get acceleration in this part of the world, and we are observing a very dynamic growth of our portfolio of our assets in the last 6 years, as you see. To give you a little bit more ideas about our portfolio, before I will talk about exits, yeah, we have 2 investments in Germany. Windel, this is the kind of European diapers, close to 100 million new revenue, very successful e-commerce, vertical e-commerce model. Another one, 21 Diamonds, jewelry business. We invested into 2 businesses in Russia, Kupivip, which was our last year investment, and Travelata, which is the online travel package business, which is growing very, very, very fast. That we have more like a later stage experience and more like an early stage experience. Our Kupivip investment was a syndication transaction of over 45 million euro. In Central Eastern Europe, like one of, I just to give you key names, ABC Data, which is already publicly listed on Warsaw Stock Exchange, Invia, which is of 100 million euro travel package business coming from Prague, and Jiva, which is a kind of global champion. It's a globally most popular pool game on Facebook, which is developing the online synchronized games, which is again based in Prague. We also started investments in Turkey. Our first investment, which we closed first half of this year, is a company called Index, which is based in Istanbul. It's a large IT group providing mobile products, providing e-commerce logistics services on the market. Yeah, that's what I would like to talk about is something which we call the GLT versus regional champions. That with our 15 years experience, we never succeed with the global champion opportunity or global innovation in the region. Most of the successes which we had in our portfolio and most of the commercial successes which you see in the region are coming from building regional champions, building emerging Europe champions, duplicating successful business models in which prove their business model in States. That just to give you the example of the e-commerce, like Amazon, super successful business model from States. Example of MallCZ, our investment in Czech Republic. Example of Avito or Ozon in Russia. Yeah, that's and this was like a huge play for the venture capital investors, for the growth investors. Another very good example, eBay, which is super successful marketplace in States. Again, the examples of the successful regional deployment, Allegro in Central Eastern Europe, Avito in Russia, or in the fintech space, in financial technologies, payments. Again, it's a next very hot sector. PayPal, which US super successful business model, part of eBay, and the duplication of the regional example, PayU, developed by Allegro Group here in Eastern Europe. That this is something which we called time vehicle opportunities. That over time you can improve the risk return profile of your investments if you don't really try to innovate too much, and you try to invest in the proven business models and help the local copycats of these successful business models to better be deployed into the region which you understand well. Yes, that this is the sense of most of the investments in this part of the world. And you have time. I mean, but the same business model for Central Eastern Europe, there was an opportunity which was late 2000, about 2005, 2010. That this is basically like even 10 years gap between what is going on in States versus what is going on in this part of the world. There's a lot of time to be well prepared to successfully deploy the the model. Yeah, and of course there's also the other sort of opportunities which we called global leader of tomorrow's, which is basically examples of companies which are born in the region, which are really becoming globally successful business models. I will mention AVG, I will mention Klarna, I will mention Parallels or Supercell from Finland.
Like
yes. Yeah. This is SMCI. We've always been very successful in this time vehicle type of investments, where basically we've been deploying very well the business models which were successful in the other parts of the world.
Good to meet you.
Just to get a little bit deeper, ABC Data is a good example.
We'll get you 2 mics.
It was a transaction. There was a leverage buyout which we did in 2008. Which we converted a traditional IT distribution company towards the B2B commerce, towards the own brand, towards the regional expansion.
Editing, so I hope you don't mind.
What's happened with the company towards the also direct
depending on how much time you guys
B2C
take, if you don't
commerce
take the whole time,
play,
then I can come up and we can
and
ask questions to
the
each
company
other,
grew up in EBITDA 5 times over 5 years. Yes. That this is, and we're talking about the large numbers. We're talking about the numbers like 100 million zlotys of EBITDA.
If you want more time,
that this is not
take the whole time. If you want me to come up
this
and
size of
interact
growth
and do
is
questions, we can do
usually
it, but it's up to you
unexpected
guys.
for large companies.
Always in the shadows. It's not
Yeah. Another example, Invia was a case of super
If not, the
successful
Q&A
company
also, we
based
send
in
you guys
Czech,
to the TA
which became a
Ventures,
market leader, market dominant
booth over
play
there,
in
and then I'll ask some questions. All right?
in travel package marketplace business model. We take the excellence of conversion, because that was the source of success of this company, and we expanded that into Poland, Russia, and other countries in the region. Yes, basically supplying the knowledge about the call center conversions, about the lead generation over internet. That again, very impressive example. The value growth of the business in the last 5 years. On a later stage, expansion was close to 5 times. You see the example of the growth, organic plus international expansion growth created by Invia in the last 5 years. Yeah. MOL CZ, another very successful example, company which started in early 2000 in Czech Republic. Built themselves as an example of the Amazon of Central Eastern Europe. We invested in R&D. We follow the company since 2006, but we finally decided to invest 2010, and we helped the company to fully deploy regional expansion in Central Eastern Europe via acquisitions, stabilize Polish operations, and finally manage quite effective exit process. That was the largest e-commerce exit in Eastern Europe, with an amount of almost €250 million achieved. Yeah. You see some statistics. Yeah, that's. I think we are pretty good in what we are doing. We understand how to successfully build, especially later stage companies. We succeeded with about 20-30 exits up to now, with private equity funds, with strategic buyers, with IPOs, with recaps, which I think it's a great value proposition for entrepreneurs. We think that Russia and Turkey are super exciting markets. Exciting because of the size, exciting because of the interest of the final buyers. We are looking to invest in 10-20 projects per year. I think this year we will do about 10 investments, where we will deploy about 80-90 million euro of our funds. That's definitely we are one of the most active investors in the region, and I'm happy to talk with any interesting projects. Even if it's too early, it's good to talk to us, because if we know the company very early, then it's definitely easier to us to decide to invest one day Molds, that was a good example. We invested in 2004. We started to know the company 2004, 2005. Finally, we invested in 2010. That sometimes it's good to know each other 5 years in advance before you make a final investment. Yeah, it's difficult to talk here because it's quite lonely space. But if you have any questions, so that I'm happy to answer these questions. I don't see the questions.
I can ask a question. Anybody have any questions really quickly? We've got a couple minutes left. So my question for you, in one sentence answers, what do you love and what do you hate about your job?
I hate unsuccessful investments.
You hate unsuccessful investments?
Yes, and I love successful investments.
That's very simple. I like very simple things. What do you hate and love about entrepreneurs in one sentence answers?
I think it's danger when you see the entrepreneur, which is an easy one.
What's that?
It's danger where you see the entrepreneur, which is an easy one. Yeah, because usually the most successful entrepreneurs, they are very difficult.
Difficult personalities?
Yes.
They like are what kind of personality?
I think my observation is that the entrepreneurs which really drives the best exits for us was entrepreneurs which was really stressful to deal with. Like they've been very sure about themselves, sometimes difficult to listen, but that's, I think if you have a very super easy entrepreneurs, it usually, as an investor, you start to worry about your pockets, yeah?
Is there any areas of the world that you don't want to invest in? Because it looks like you're all over the place.
No, we had one very super interesting project from Prague. It was about sex online, pornography online. Really exciting, yes. A very reasonable.
It was really exciting. What part was really exciting?
Was a very reasonable multiply, yes, like a price or valuation versus cash generated by the asset. But that was difficult for us to do as a publicly listed group, yes. Okay. That's we decided not to.
Okay, so as you were talking earlier, I think there's a lot of entrepreneurs in the audience. Give me 3 words of the personality traits. You mentioned earlier the tough ones. What are 3 words of the great entrepreneur personality traits that you love to invest in, of the personalities of the entrepreneurs? So one is probably tough personality, right? What are 2 other words of good personality traits?
Self-confidence. I think usually the most successful. Our experience was that the most successful entrepreneurs was very self-confident. Yes.
What is it?
Self-confidence.
Self-confidence.
Self-confidence. Goal driven by the objectives. Driven by the objectives.
What's one more personality trait?
Fast. Yes.
Okay. So fast, tough, and self-confidence.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so now what are 3 personality traits that you don't like in entrepreneurs as an investor?
That's a good question.
I try to ask good questions.
Let me think. That's yeah. I think if it's kind of if the entrepreneur basically is lacking the knowledge or is not really not really sure about what he wants to achieve. Yes, if he's expecting too much support from the investor, it's really dangerous. That's
okay. Maybe insecure is the word.
Yeah.
Okay. What are 2 more words?
Yeah, that will be one issue. Then taking lessons. Like you make mistakes, but it's very important that you learn from these mistakes and then you self-correct. Yes, that you don't. You are not repeating your mistakes, yes. I think that's, but it's very difficult to judge that in the beginning. You never know. Yeah, that's basically with early stage you make mistakes, and basically you make mistakes because you are investing in the people, and then the only way to be successful in early stage is to have this selection of this like. I think right now on early stage funds right now we are seeing like 25 to 50% failure rate. Yeah. And that's basically about the quality of entrepreneurs.
The failure rate, is that increasing or is it decreasing?
Yes, in our case it's increasing because we started to do more like take a look type of deals. In the past, 10 years ago, we've been very much trying to be successful in every transaction. Then we've been much more.
So you're taking more risks.
Yes. Right now we are because we rather have a philosophy of taking more bets and then seeing what's going on right and then continuing investing, because with being too conservative, you're basically missing too much opportunities, and the rewarding ones are giving you so much profit that you don't really care about the ones where you lost money.
Right.
That's.
So does anybody have any questions? We'll take a quick question. I love these audiences that don't ask questions. So to repeat what I said this morning, if you want to be noticed in a crowd, if you want an investor to be intrigued about you, the best way to do it is by asking a good question. By sitting and not saying anything, you're like everybody else, so you don't stand out. Nobody's going to take the bite. Thank you very much. I appreciate it very much. Round of applause, folks.